Hi, everyone, and welcome. Why don't you get nice and cozy because I have such a special story I want to share with you today. So today, we're going to take a little trip together to a really beautiful place called Rampur Village. Let's hear what its story is all about. All right, so our story starts on a really peaceful morning in this quiet, just lovely little village. Rampur is a really simple, cozy kind of place. The houses there, they're made right from the earth. And everywhere you look, just as far as your eyes can see, there are these beautiful golden fields of wheat. Every single morning starts with the same sounds. You've got roosters crowing and that gentle creaking of the bullock carts making their way down the roads. And this is the very village where a sweet young girl named Gudiya lives. So one day, Gudiya was just playing outside when she found something, well, something amazing. Hidden right there under the dirt was this tiny, tiny little doll. And get this, she was wearing a beautiful little lenga, a traditional skirt, almost like a miniature bride. She was just perfect. Gudiya just smiled, holding the doll so carefully in her hands. She felt this immediate connection, and she whispered to it, "You will be my friend." She had absolutely no idea how special her new friend was really going to be. Okay, and this is where the story gets really magical. Let's find out what happened that exact same night. So, later that night, while Gudiya was fast asleep, this really strong wind suddenly started whipping around her little house. But it wasn't a normal kind of wind. Now, this one felt different, almost full of energy. And then this strange, soft light began to fill up her room, just glowing in the dark. And then, right through the sound of that wind, a very soft, almost musical voice called out her name. Gudiya? Gudiya's eyes flew open. She looked over and the light was coming from the doll. Its eyes were shining. And then the voice spoke again. "I am Pari," it said, "and I protect this village." Pari went on to explain that she was worried, really worried, because she could feel the village was starting to lose its happiness. So right then and there, Gudiya and Pari decided they had to work together. They were going to bring all that joy and good fortune right back to Rampur. So in the mornings, Pari would go out with Gudiya into the fields, and she'd just touch the seeds with her tiny little hands and, like actual magic, the crops would start growing unbelievably fast. And then later, back at home, she'd help with all the chores, lighting the stove, fetching the water. Suddenly, everything was just easy, almost like it was being carried on a gentle breeze. Well, when the other villagers saw all this wonderful magic and all this new life popping up in the fields, something really changed inside them. They felt so inspired. They started working harder too and helping each other out. And soon, this amazing spirit of teamwork and happiness was spreading all through Rampur. Everything was just wonderful. I mean, the village was so happy, it was thriving. But one day, the skies started to turn dark, and a huge challenge was on its way. A really fierce storm just tore through the village with these howling winds and pouring rain. And right in the middle of it all, as the storm was raging, Gudiya noticed something awful. Pari, her magical friend, she was starting to look so pale and so weak. That beautiful light that was always around her, it was starting to fade. Pari spoke, but her voice was barely a whisper, and she revealed her biggest secret. "My strength," she said, "is tied to the villagers' hard work. If they stop working hard, I'll be gone forever." So you see, the magic wasn't just coming from her. It was coming from the spirit and the effort of the people themselves. Gudiya got it instantly. The storm had scared everyone, so they'd stopped working. But that was the very thing that was making Pari disappear. So she ran right out into that storm and she pleaded with all the villagers. "Everyone, we have to work together. It's a matter of our lives." This was it. This was the moment of truth. The villagers had to remember where their good fortune really came from. They had to find that magic inside themselves. And you know what? They did it. After hearing Gudiya's plea, everyone came together. They actually braved the storm to protect the fields, to save their precious crops from all that wind and rain. They worked as one team, and as they did, something truly wonderful happened. Pari's light started to shine brightly again, and it was pushing back the darkness of the storm. It was amazing. Once the storm had passed and the fields were safe, a strong and glowing Pari smiled at all the villagers. She told them, "Now you've all learned the truth. The magic isn't in me. The real magic
It's in your own hard work and in the way you help one another. Her work was done. The lesson was taught. The people of Rampur finally understood the real secret to their own happiness. And so, with one last warm smile, Pari's light gently faded away, and she slowly turned back into that small, simple clay doll right there in Gudiya's hands. Gudiya keeps that little doll safe, even to this day. And now, whenever a gentle wind blows through those golden wheat fields in Rampur, the people just smile, and they say to each other, "Pari's still here." It's their reminder of the magic that they create themselves every single day.
What a beautiful story, right? It's all about how real magic comes from our own hard work and from helping each other out. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where is the magic all around you?